is too much money for the first date. And Chad said anything above $50 is a red flag. He was like, I could stretch $50 for a week. Definitely doesn't take that much for a first date, Queen.
He can stretch $50 for a week.
For himself.
For himself.
I'm not rich,
So
and I can't even stretch $50 for a week.
You can't?
You can cook.
I mean, I can if in my mind I'm like, oh, I have to stretch this $50. But like, if I'm not,
but that's what he's saying.
But he's saying he can't. Like,
y'all go first.
First of all, I think that his $50 is way too low. I don't think that's a red flag. I don't think that dates have to cost $50, but I also don't think $50. I don't think $50.
I don't think $50 is in today's time is not a reasonable number, to be honest.
Not reasonable.
It's not reasonable.
So anywhere you go, because if you're thinking about, you would say I had a cheap date?
Think about what you're eating and what they're eating. You know what I'm saying? So my meal has to be 30, your meal has to be 20. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, because you know you're getting drinks. Mm-hmm. You know you're going, and then at the end of the day, are you just going to get something to eat?
Right, and then going straight home.
And going home, or are you going to the movies? Are you
to
a lounge to go get some? You know what I'm saying? If you pay for the hookah, so it's like at the end of the day, the date. I think it should just be within your price range. $50 is
what's the cap?
I think $50 doable.
The cap?
What's the maximum? I think that's the question of the matter.
I'll spend
and it don't matter how much money you make.
I'll spend $200
on a first date.
On a first date,
I would never, child.
Is that not reasonable? Like if you think about it, you're getting drinks, you get food,
but
and say you want to go to a lounge.
So you would take a stranger out on the first date and spend $200 and be okay with it?
What do you think?
We skipped that stage. I don't know what this is about.
Skip the guy.
You can say skip the first date.
All right.
I understand what it is.
I get what you're saying. But as a person who was dating for 5 years, just dating, even as a woman, like, to me, 200 is a lot. Like, I wouldn't want no man.
You're not even looking at any of the bills that are getting handed to me, so it doesn't even matter to you in your mind. We're just having a good time. It does matter to me, because if I feel like a man spent 200 on me on our first date, first of all, I feel like I have to tell him, like, I hope you're not expecting anything out of me. Where? Okay, so you think your pussy is worth $200 now?
No, what I'm saying is my pussy is priceless. Therefore, I would have to tell him.
You don't need to.
Because you're spending $200, don't think.
If you fucking with the right one, you wouldn't need to say nothing. This nigga is picking up the checks because he's picking up the checks regardless. We're both having a good time. I don't need to fuck you to have a good time and spend my money.
That's true. But a lot of people think that the higher they spend on a date, the more they'll get out of you. And I just don't think you need to spend $200 on the first date.
He only said 200.
I'm only... Right, go ahead.
Because we just went to go get crab legs and stuff, the seafood boils, and our bill was $175.
Oh,
shit.
It's a shortage of crab legs in the West Coast.
Why is it a shortage of everything?
Why?
The chickens don't got legs. The crabs don't got legs.
It's because of the stimulus checks. Niggas was getting chicken wings and crab legs and making hella gumbo.
I believe it.
It's a shortage, so it's
making hella gumbo.
I believe that.
But I'm gonna say though, to the dudes that's thinking that you gotta really blow it back, that you have to, no, you don't.
I think 200 is okay.
That might be cool. But
you should have more than 200 in your bank account to be able to. If you're asking a girl on a date, number one, just have the funds to meet some type of standard.
What standard?
Some type of.
I mean, I do kind of agree with that, though. Don't ask nobody on a date if
you ain't got nothing.
But you don't have to spend 200. But that's the thing, you don't. But if you don't have, like, I went on a date. We were supposed to go bowling. The bowling cost like $30 a person, or
you should have went midnight bowling.
But we weren't.
Should have went midnight.
That's $5.
We weren't in Vegas. It's different in Georgia. Bowling costs a lot more in Georgia than in Atlanta than it does in Vegas.
This nigga better use Google.
And so he was like, "Oh, you want to go over there and play pool?" And like, while I didn't mind, I was just like, dang, like, you ain't bring enough for us to go bowling, and you suggested bowling. That's all I'm saying. Like,
you ain't bringing enough to go bowling? Damn.
But bowling is more expensive. It would have cost him like $60+.
Just have enough money in your account to be like, okay, if I go on this date, I'm gonna be okay after. You know what I'm saying? Niggas have to think a little bit ahead. You have to think like, yo, I can't just be like, yo, I see this girl right now, I'm about to just attack. Because at the end of the day, if you're not thinking 10 steps ahead, she already done thought. She saw you in her peripheral. She saw you looking. So it's like, nigga, you gonna go over there, approach. You ain't ready to approach. If you're not ready to approach, my nigga, she's gonna smell.
But that don't mean you
quick.
have to spend 200. I want to hear you haven't spoke on that yet. I still think 200 is a lot to spend. To me, 200 is like.
Okay, where do you want to go? Chili's? Where you want to go to eat? Where you want to go to eat?
I'm gonna answer this because.
Tell me where you want to go to eat.
Because let me say this. Chili's my favorite motherfucking restaurant. so yes, nigga.
Listen, this is what you do.
Her ass be ordering a sampler.
Even if it's
every time.
I love that. In the Southwestern neighborhood, don't get me started.
Even if you see a girl that look like all she do is enjoy the most expensive shit from everybody, it's in conversation. If you about to go on a date with her, that means you had conversations with her. Ask what she enjoys outside of all the other shit. Like, okay, what do you like to do that's outside the norm? They might really just like to go to the park. Oh, I just like to go skating. Oh, I just like to. Now you doing some shit.
How many of those is you really meet?
Bro, they're
out there. People just don't ask.
This way, every girl that looks like all she want to do is go to the highest shit. I'm the type of nigga. Okay, you can let every other nigga take you there. I'm gonna take you somewhere else. And it's not even about saving money. It's just about I don't have to impress you, cause. Well, I don't like to.
It is
if
a
I
first
don't like
date.
to, man, fuck all that shit. I'll impress you later when I feel like you're worth impressing.
But see, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like, well, on the first date, you should try to impress her. But
wait,
the $200 date thing, like he said, you should know a girl. To me, if you're spending $200 on a date, that'll be your third, your fifth date. Like you're like, I'm into this girl.
Well, what is he? Okay, so he's saying that he would wait to spend money on a girl that's worth it, but
he would try to do out of the blue
the first date. What did
looks,
you see in her
that's
worth?
all people get. First dates are only based off looks. That's why I don't know why people would be willing to spend $200.
It's not the fact that you're spending $200. At the end of the day, look at I'm just different because obviously I'm in a situation. No, I'm just in a situation. So it's just different for me. So I don't look at checks and shit like that. When we go out and we just having fun.
But we're talking about first dates.
I understand that, but you could still we go on dates still. So it's like if we go on a date, we go eat, we go to say we went to Top Golf one time, and then we went to eat. Mm-hmm. That date was like at least $300.
But this is your wife. You know her. You love her. You appreciate her.
I understand that. But at the same
she
time,
deserves that.
It's Top Golf and shit like that, not like a first date type thing. And then you want to go get something to eat if you don't eat there. So it's like that's all I'm saying because I'm treating these things as if they are first dates. I've never been.
That's true. It could be a first date thing, but
we do first date type shit. Like if you go to Las Vegas has a rec room, the Las Vegas rec room. Make sure y'all check that shit out. It's some.
You talking about the supermarket?
No, it's a rec room. Like you go in that bitch.
Oh, like you wreck it, not recreational room. You wreck it.
That's hard.
Demolition joints.
Yes, and fucking. Like you treat shit like that like a first date, but that was like $60
a piece.
So no,
that's fine
together, right? Yeah. So $60. Was it like 60? It was what?
It was per person.
It was 60 per person.
You know what else can get expensive? Them escape rooms.
I ain't never went
but
to
okay, I would want to go to that too. But I would want to go to that like a group setting type thing. I wouldn't want to do that as a
it could be the two of y'all. Like you could learn how she communicates, or if you guys.
Nah, hell no. Because if we go on a first date and she's irritating me, or she doesn't know how to, you know what I mean.
But that's the point of first dates. Then you're like, all right, I'm never going out.
No, nigga, because if I'm in an escape room, now I'm stuck with you in here for an hour.
You can't escape.
Now I'm like,
has anyone ever left a date in the middle of
a date?
But you would never leave any other escape room or not. Has anyone really ever left a date in the middle of the day?
There's been niggas who got up and went like, I'm about to go to the bathroom.
I don't think that's common. I think most people stick it through.
You played yourself.
Has anyone in this room ever left a date mid-date?
I've wanted to.
But we stick it out. I've wanted to leave like 10.
Wanted to for sure.
No,
you can't call the homie, or you can text the homie and be like, hey, call me like it's serious.
Set the screen.
Well, what I have done, like they tried to go somewhere else, like after our date, like go to another spot. And I'll be like, oh, you know what? My mom texted me and she's not feeling well. So I've done stuff like that. But like in the middle of the day, you could stick it out in the escape room because don't nobody leave in the middle of the day.
I mean, you only get a certain amount of time.
An hour.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly, but I don't want to be in there for an hour.
Vari saying he want to leave the girl.
Like, nah, bitch.
But what I'm saying to
in
niggas
his
out there,
hypothetical situation,
you might not have it, but you feel like you really want to impress. there's ways. Like, okay, you sit there and be like, damn, it's gonna be $100 on drinks, or you can have a bottle in the car. And
Yep, and
you
pregame.
guys